Pheasant Island, the island that travels from France to Spain every 6 months. Have you ever heard of an island that changes countries every 6 months? Welcome to Pheasant Island, a tiny land between France and Spain. Since 1659, Spain has governed Pheasant Island from February 1st to July 31st, and then France takes over from August 1st to January 31st. This unique arrangement started with the Treaty of the Pyrenees. This was signed on the island to end a war between the two nations. The island became a condominium, with France and Spain sharing authority. Pheasant Island has also played host to several historical events. In 1660, it witnessed Princess Maria Theresa of Spain's goodbye to her father before she married France's King Louis XIV. Today, the island remains mostly off-limits and is open only on special days. A large stone stands there, with words in Spanish on one side and French on the other. It reminds us of the island's marvelous story. This little island may be odd, but its tale of sharing and peace is something we should always remember.
Hello everyone, and welcome to English for You. I'm Sam.
And I'm Shiklin.
Okay, and today we've got a topic that's about an interesting island, I think.
Island? Is it just like Taiwan?
Perhaps, but I think it's more interesting perhaps in different ways. I think we'll find that this particular island actually has kind of like two countries that rule it.
Oh.
So I don't know how. I don't think it's just split kind of like 50-50. One country like rules one half of the island and the other country rules the other half. I think it's something a little bit more special than that.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so let's find out. So the article starts with, have you ever heard of an island that changes countries every 6 months? Welcome to Pheasant Island, a tiny land between France and Spain.
What do you mean by changes countries?
Well, I think they perhaps take it in turns.
Oh, okay.
So maybe one country spends part of the year ruling it, and the other country spends the other parts of the year ruling it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but hopefully the article will tell us. Okay. So since 1659, Spain has governed Pheasant Island from February the 1st to July the 31st, and then France takes over from August the 1st to January the 31st.
Oh.
So it seems like my guess was correct.
Yeah.
So they split the year in
half.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So here we've got the word govern. So think of government when you hear this word, because govern is a verb to mean that a government controls something. The government might introduce laws and receive and spend tax money. This is called governing. So an example could be, the public no longer trusted the government to govern the country, so most people voted for a new party.
所以呢 govern 这个字就是治理，老师刚刚有提到 government 这一个，它就是政府的意思。那么当然不止国家上的治理啊，一个人对自己的掌控支配也是可以。比如说假如一个人没有什么逻辑，你就可以说 your friend doesn't seem to be governed by logic. So maybe he's talking about some things that you don't think make sense.
Right.
那 government 就是政府呢，那老师刚刚有讲哦，它就是我们政府或者是政府官方都 OK. So the government provides food for the refugees. 那当然 the adjective form is governmental.
Yeah, that's a good point. So we also have a pocket phrase, take over. And the phrase take over means to become in control of something. So if two people are in a car and the driver starts to get really tired, the other person could take over and drive for a while. They'll take control of the car for a while.
I really need someone like that. I could really use some help. Okay, 所以 take over 就是接管、接手。那老师刚刚讲的是开车的接管，我们今天在工作上也 OK。或者是呢，假如今天你有一个家庭的，比如说你爸爸妈妈有一个生意，他们要你接手，这也 OK 哦。比如说 everyone wanted Joe to take over the family business, but he had other ideas. 所以大家有没有听过半年换过一次主权？那个 changes countries 的意思就是换主权嘛。所以就是费桑岛这个地方，它是在法国跟西班牙之间的一个小岛。
Okay. So this unique arrangement started with the Treaty of the Pyrenees. So here we have arrangement, and this word is used in the article to mean an agreement with someone, or the other government in this case, to do something. So an example would be, Stephen made an arrangement with his boss to work from home every Wednesday.Okay,
所以一定要签一个合约了。I think they really have to sign an arrangement so they don't get into like a fight or they don't go to war because they wouldn't want that.
No.
所以 arrangement 就是有一个安排约定的意思。这边是指协议比较多啊，是来自于动词 arrange 这一个字哦。比如说，如果你的档案有排好、安排好，你也可以讲 The files are arranged in alphabetical order. 所以这样子独特的安排呢，是开始于某一个条约。这个条约叫做比利牛斯条约。
Okay. So the article then goes on to say, this was signed on the island to end a war between the two nations. The island became a condominium with France and Spain sharing authority.
Okay, 所以authority 这边是指管辖权的意思，所以就是法国跟西班牙他们一起分享这个管辖权哦，是在这个岛上签署的，就是去结束两国的战争，所以这个地方呢就成为一个共管区域。Like they share that area.
Right, yeah.I kind of think these things often come as a result of some sort of war because it's such a strange thing to do otherwise. I don't know why you'd just agree to share a piece of land. But...
Yeah.
Okay, what does the article say next? Well, it says, Pheasant Island has also played host to several historical events. So we have play host to, which is an interesting phrase. So here, play host to something means to have something happen there.This can be made simpler by taking the word host, which is someone or a place that holds an event, often for guests to enjoy. So if your school plays host to a yearly dance competition, then there's a dance competition at your school every year.
所以就是 play host， 大家有没有想说if you throw a party and if you're the host, you're someone that hosted. 所以其实这个 host you're just using it as a noun， 很简单，很好理解嘛。所以主办 play host to something 就是去主办的意思。And we also have another word, historical.
We do, yes. So when we see the adjective historical, we just need to think of history because historical and history kind of goes together. So when something is historical, it happened in the past. It's from history. It's important not to confuse historical with historic, though. For an event to be historic, it must be a very important event. And this is a mistake that many native English speakers will make, and I think I've made that mistake before in the past. Even when writing an article, I've used the word historical to mean historic. So it's a difficult one. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's a very minor difference. So one's got to be important, the other one just means something from the past.
Oh, okay.
So an example could be, Livy's teacher asked the class to find out about some historical people from their town.
所以 historical 这边是历史的或有关历史的意思 and it comes from the noun history. So 如果是美国的历史就是 American history. 那么当然过去的人事物也可以，比如说 Are you still seeing Daniel? 那如果没有了，就his history 代表 no not anymore. So 老师刚刚有讲到 historic 跟 historical 这一个的差别哦。通常呢 historic 是比较重要的，它是重要性的事件才会用 historic 来形容。如果今天是 historical， 它只是在讲过去的一件事情。所以费桑岛呢，还有举办过很多的历史事件哦。
Okay. So in 1660, it witnessed Princess Maria Theresa of Spain's goodbye to her father before she married France's King Louis XIV.
Oh, yes, the 14th.
Yeah.
Wow, 所以呢，这边的 witness 就是见证哦，见证了什么事情？那它当名词就是目击者的意思。所以在1660年呢，费桑岛也见证了西班牙公主玛丽亚·特蕾莎嫁给法国国王路易14告别的那一时刻。
Okay. So today the island remains mostly off limits and is opened only on special days.
Off limits. Okay, so that means we can't go there?
Yeah, I think so, which as soon as I read that, it sounded like it's a shame because I want to visit.
Maybe they want to protect it.
Yeah, perhaps.
所以 off limits 这边就是禁止去的嘛，所以大部分的地方都还是不能去啦，就在特殊日子才能开放。
Okay.
I wonder what it looks like.
Yeah, me too. Well, the article says, a large stone stands there with words in Spanish on one side and French on the other. So that's one thing that you could find there.
OK, 会有一个很大的石头是吧？所以 stand 在这边是伫立的意思，有伫立这一块大石头，一侧写着西班牙文，另一侧写着法语。So that basically means yes, the stone belongs to both of us.
Right, yeah. So the stone is almost like cut down the middle. So the article says it reminds us of the island's marvelous story. So we have the word remind here. And to remind someone of something is to make them remember it. So in the article, the stone reminds us of the island's history. We should remember the island's history. An example could be, this song reminds me of when I went to see the band play live about 15 years ago.
所以 remind 就是提醒啊，想起什么。所以老师刚刚的句子 remind someone of something 是提醒老师某个时刻。那么如果要叫别人去做事情也可以哦，就是 to remind someone to do something. 比如说 he reminded me to lock up the house when I go out. 或者是 you remind me of my little brother. He talks like you. And we also saw marvelous in our last sentence.
Yes, we did. So, marvelous simply means wonderful. So if something is marvelous, it is wonderful. So an example would be, Melissa had a marvelous vacation with her family and wishes she was still on holiday.
所以 marvelous 就是非常好的，令人惊叹的。So when you do a really good job or when you do an excellent job, you can also say marvelous job. 比如说 you've done a marvelous job of handling this problem. 或者是呢 you can also use marvelous to describe a beautiful view, 很漂亮 or scenery 是比较漂亮的风景。比如说what I like the most about this hotel is its marvelous view you can see from the room. 所以呢，我们知道说有一颗很大石头在这个岛上，所以这个石头呢，让我们想起了这座岛的故事。
Okay. So the article says, this little island may be odd, but its tale of sharing and peace is something we should always remember. So, odd. The final vocab word of the day is odd, which means strange or a little weird. So the island may be strange or weird, but its tale of sharing and peace is something we should always remember. So, that movie was a bit odd. I didn't really understand it, but I quite enjoyed it.
What movie is it? I'm curious.
There's quite a few I've seen that are like that. So,
How do you still enjoy when you don't understand it?
I don't know. Like you can get kind of like you can feel the characters.
Okay.
And like you think, okay, I really kind of feel what they're trying to do, and really like that character, whether it's the actor or the character themselves, or maybe the theme of the movie.
So it's all about the vibe. You don't have to understand it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there are some movies where I really don't like the story.
Okay.
But I like the visual effects.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Special effects.
Right, it looks really nice. I only watch it once, but it looks nice.
OK. 所以老师很好笑，他讲这个就是说，他说，这个电影有点奇怪，但是他不太懂这个电影，所以 odd 这个字呢，当然你也可以把它改成 strange 是一样。老师刚刚有提到，这边就是指很古怪的意思，所以 you can also use it to talk about a person that's really strange.
Right.
Like, he is an odd man, but well, he's friendly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, usually when we use it like that, we'd say odd is probably negative because nobody wants to be called odd, really.
So there was a but in there when you said that he is actually, well, but he is friendly.
Yeah. So we could use it as like a kind of, what we'd say, eccentric, where someone's really interesting. It's like they're not usual, but they're really interesting. So yeah, they're just not the usual kind of person. So yeah, it's not always negative, but we'd have to be a bit careful how we say it when we're talking about someone.
You could be odd in a good way, actually.
Yeah, you
That
could.
means you're unique.
Yeah.
所以 odd 它自己本身也有奇数的意思，所以像是 odd numbers like 1, 3, 5, 7. So I can say both 19 and 31 are odd numbers. 或者是呢，当名词你就加上一个 s， 就变成可能性或一个概率的感觉。比如说 ，Okay, if I bump into you like at Subway and I be, oh, what are the odds?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that just means like, what are the chances?
Oh, I think you guys will say fancy meeting you here.
Yeah, we could say that.
Okay,
Yeah,
sometimes I say that too. But...
Okay, well, you've been getting it right. So.
所以这个小岛呢，好像蛮奇怪的哦。不过他分享跟和平的故事，是我们应该永远记住的。Okay, so it's all about peace.
Right. Yeah, all about peace. So
I think we have a question to talk about.
We do have a question to talk
I think
about
it's
this.
something definitely that's related to this peace island. Which other countries should have a peace island? And what might happen there? This is such a hard question for me.
It is. And, I was kind of hoping you might be asking which countries might have a peace island, because I have an answer for that. Now, in terms of what might happen there, I'm going to have to think hard about that one. But when I was younger, a long time ago, I went to a part of a country called Cyprus.
I've heard of that.
Okay, so yes, it's in the Mediterranean and it's close to Greece and Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with my family and we stayed in like the very north part, which is like Turkish Cyprus. I think I'd be careful in case anybody gets offended. Because it's one of those situations that is very political, has a lot of politics in it. So North Cyprus is Turkish. And the actual official country, which is the rest of the island, is Greek.
And that's really similar to the situation here.
Exactly. And I think it's a place that's had a lot of conflict in the past. And so I think the two parts don't really get on very well.
Still?
Still.
Okay.
It's quite tense, I would say. Like, it's very beautiful and very nice. Like a very nice Mediterranean place. But
so how was it like there when you were little and you went there? Did you sense the tension or?
For the most part, no. But there was one town that is a bit like this island, kind of like split in half. I don't think they take turns with it in that kind of way, but it's kind of like feels like it's split down the middle. And when you went there were very big restrictions on where you could and couldn't go around that particular area.
So basically just like Mexico and America.
Right, yeah.
There's a boundary between.
Right,
okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
So in terms of what might happen there, though, to kind of solve this, I suppose there could be like some sort of celebrations of some sort, like a festival that kind of celebrated a joint culture. Because I think before they had a lot of conflict, they did share the island together. So there were a lot of people who were from Greece originally and a lot of people who were from Turkey originally, and they have different religions. Like one's very kind of Christian or Catholic, I guess, and the other one is like a lot obviously Islamic, Muslim. But they got on very well before they had all the conflict. So surely they would have some historical kind of culture to share and perhaps some events that they could use to celebrate those.
Okay, yeah, I think that would be great. Maybe I would like to go. It's on my A list maybe for my traveling list.
It's a beautiful country.
Okay, I should go. OK， 所以那就是今天所有的练习。那大家要注意不要忘记复习所有的单字哦。And stay safe.
Yes, indeed.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
This is Sam and Chickling. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Govern. From 1858 to 1947, India was governed by Britain. But after that, India ruled itself. Arrangement. Crystal made all the arrangements for this party, so I didn't have to do anything. Jenny and her brother made an arrangement to share the computer to do their homework every evening. Historical. Many people visit this old town to see its historical temple, which was built over 1,000 years ago. Remind. I know you forget things, so let me remind you that today is Mother's Day. Marvelous. That cake wasn't just good, it was marvelous. I'll buy one every month. Odd. It is odd that the lights in that house are on. I thought no one lived there.
智慧小补帖
Authority. Witness.